Listen closely. If you are over the age of 60 and you are watching your hair vanish into your hairbrush every morning while you desperately apply topical foams and expensive shampoos, you are participating in a state of clinical delusion that is effectively allowing your scalp to become a graveyard for dormant follicles. You have been told that hair loss is a natural consequence of aging or a genetic sentence you must endure, but I am here to tell you that for the senior metabolism, hair thinning is a loud, biological distress signal indicating that your internal nutrient delivery system is in a state of total collapse. Right now, your body is performing what I call biological triage. It has decided that your hair is a luxury it can no longer afford, and it is systematically redirecting your limited minerals and proteins away from your head and toward your vital organs just to keep you alive. You are balding because your body is in survival mode. Today, I am going to expose the cosmetic industry's greatest lies and reveal the one specific nut, a nut sitting in most grocery stores for pennies, that contains the exact mineral master key required to restart your thyroid's growth signal, block the hormonal assassins in your scalp, and force your system to transition back into a state of follicular abundance. By the end of this masterclass, you will understand the deiodinase enzyme pathway, the tragedy of subclinical selenium deficiency, and the exact two-nut protocol required to regrow thick, resilient hair in your 70s and 80s. If you value your reflection and your biological sovereignty, you cannot afford to ignore the clinical mechanisms I am about to expose. We must start with the brutal truth of the follicular growth cycle. Your hair does not grow in a straight line. It moves through three distinct phases: anagen, the growth phase; catagen, the transition phase; and telogen, the resting and shedding phase. In a younger body, 85% of your hair is in the anagen growth phase at any given time. But after 60, due to a combination of insulin resistance and mineral depletion, your hairs are being prematurely kicked out of anagen and forced into a permanent state of telogen. Your follicles aren't dead, they are in a state of biological hibernation. They are waiting for a signal that never comes. Most doctors will tell you to take a generic multivitamin. This is strategically stupid. A multivitamin contains a shotgun blast of low-quality minerals that often compete for absorption. What you need is a sniper hit of one specific mineral found in a single nut, selenium. The nut I am revealing today is the Brazil nut. But before you rush out to buy a bag, you must listen to the clinical warning. The Brazil nut is not a snack. It is a high-potency medical dose. Selenium is the trace mineral that governs your thyroid gland. Your thyroid is the master regulator of your metabolic rate and the clock that determines how long your hair stays in the growth phase. Inside your thyroid, there are enzymes called deiodinases. Their job is to convert the inactive thyroid hormone, T4, into the active form, T3. T3 is the only hormone that can tell your hair follicles to build. Without enough selenium, your deiodinase enzymes are paralyzed. You might have normal thyroid levels on a standard blood test, but at the cellular level in your scalp, you are hypothyroid. Your hair is thinning because your follicles are out of power. A single Brazil nut contains nearly 90 micrograms of selenium, more than your total daily requirement. By consuming just two of these nuts during your morning protein anchor, you are providing the clinical surge required to kickstart the deiodinase factory. You are turning the lights back on in your scalp. However, we must address the assassin in the room, dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. In both men and women over 50, as estrogen and progesterone decline, the body becomes more sensitive to testosterone. This testosterone is converted by an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase into DHT. Think of DHT as a biological poison for the hair follicle. It binds to the receptors at the base of the hair and chokes the blood supply. This is the mechanism of miniaturization. The hair becomes thinner, shorter, and more translucent until it disappears. Most dermatologists prescribe synthetic drugs to block this enzyme, but these drugs often come with side effects that crash your libido and your mood. I am here to provide a biological alternative found in the walnut. Walnuts are unique because they provide a massive concentration of alpha-linolenic acid and specific polyphenols that act as natural 5-alpha reductase inhibitors. By pairing your Brazil nuts with 3 to 5 walnut halves, you are creating a double action shield. The Brazil nut provides the power, and the walnut blocks the poison. This is strategic hair restoration. Let's talk about the copper pigment tragedy. Many of you are not just losing hair, you are watching it turn gray and hollow. This is a sign of copper depletion. Copper is the required cofactor for the enzyme tyrosinase, which produces melanin, the pigment that gives your hair color. But more importantly, copper is essential for the cross-linking of collagen and elastin in your scalp. If your scalp is stiff and lacks elasticity, the blood vessels are squeezed shut and the hair cannot grow. Walnuts are a dense source of highly bioavailable copper. By incorporating them, you are not just dyeing your hair from the inside out, you are softening the soil of your scalp so the roots can breathe. You are moving from a desert scalp to a garden scalp. Most of you are currently making a lethal mistake in your health routine that is neutralizing these nuts. You are eating your nuts alongside high oxalate foods like raw spinach or whole wheat crackers. As we have established, oxalates and phytic acid are mineral thieves. They bind to the selenium and the copper in your stomach and carry them out of your body before they can reach your thyroid. To stop this drain, you must follow the Robert Lee nut timing protocol. You will consume your 2 Brazil nuts and 5 walnuts at 10 a.m., immediately after your 3 eggs and spirulina. Why? Because the healthy fats in the eggs increase the absorption of the fat-soluble compounds in the nuts, and the lack of grains in the morning anchor ensures that there is no phytic acid to steal your minerals. This is high-level internal logistics. We must also discuss the role of ferritin, the stored form of iron. Your hair follicles have a ferritin threshold. In clinical practice, I have found that if a senior's ferritin is below 70 ng/ml, the body will automatically shut down the hair growth cycle. You can eat all the nuts in the world, but if your iron stores are low, the triage system will still prioritize your red blood cells over your hair. Most of you have low ferritin because you have low stomach acid, which prevents the absorption of iron from your meat. This is why the activated water with lemon is non-negotiable. The citric acid lowers the pH of your stomach, allowing you to actually crack the iron molecules from your food and send them to your scalp. We are fixing the digestion delivery chain to ensure the nut signal works. Let's look at the scalp artery anatomy. Your scalp is the furthest point from your heart. It is the end of the line for your circulation. If your blood pressure is being aggressively managed down to 120/80, the pressure is too low to force blood into the tiny vertical capillaries of the scalp. You are effectively browned out from the forehead up. By allowing your pressure to sit in the 140 sweet spot, you are providing the hydrostatic force required to deliver the selenium and the copper to the base of the follicle. You are irrigating your crown. You cannot grow a forest without water pressure, and you cannot grow hair without arterial force. We must also examine the Maillard reaction of the scalp. When you eat high-sugar fruits or oatmeal, your blood becomes sticky. This sugar binds to the collagen in your scalp, creating advanced glycation end products. This makes your scalp leathery and calcified. I have seen patients whose scalps were so tight they felt like bone. There is no blood flow in a leathery scalp. By executing the oatmeal eviction and the 6 p.m. fruit cutoff, you are stopping the browning of your scalp. You are allowing the tissue to become supple again. A supple scalp is a fertile scalp. This is the Robert Lee ROI. You get your heart clear, your sugar stable, and your hair thick, because the physiology of a healthy vessel is the same whether it is in your chest or on your head. Let's talk about the liver hair link. Your liver produces the sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG. SHBG is like a handcuff for DHT. It travels through your blood, grabs the hair assassin DHT, and prevents it from binding to your follicles. But if your liver is congested from seed oils and processed grains, it stops producing SHBG. You are left with unbound DHT that is free to ravage your scalp. Spirulina, the vegetable protein from our previous masterclass, is a liver repairer. When you take your spirulina at 10 a.m., you are telling your liver to start manufacturing the DHT handcuffs. You are protecting your head by cleaning your filter. This is the level of integrated strategy required to win the long game. Consider the case of Martha, a 68-year-old patient who had lost 40% of her hair density in 3 years. She was using biotin-enriched shampoo and taking a high-dose calcium pill. Her scalp was dry, her hair was mushy, and she was losing her confidence. I told Martha the truth. She was stoning her kidneys and starving her follicles. We removed the raw spinach and the oatmeal. We implemented the activated hydration and the nut protocol, 2 Brazil nuts and 5 walnuts at 10 a.m. sharp. We added the 10 a.m. egg and spirulina anchor. Within 90 days, Martha's shedding had stopped. Within 6 months, she had baby hairs filling in her part line. At 1 year, her hair was so thick she had to change her style for the first time in a decade. She didn't have a hair problem. She had a signaling and delivery problem. We fixed the signal with the nut, and we fixed the delivery with the pressure and the water. Let's talk about the specific gravity of hair quality. Your hair is 70% protein, but it is also 10 to 15% water and minerals. If you are drinking empty water that flushes your electrolytes, your hair becomes dehydrated and brittle. It snaps at the root. By adding the sea salt to your water, you are providing the conductivity required for the minerals to integrate into the hair shaft. Your hair will become heavy and strong, what stylists call elasticity. You can pull on a healthy hair, and it will stretch rather than snap. This is the mark of a mineralized senior. You are no longer fragile, you are reinforced. We must also address the sleep growth connection. Most of your hair growth happens between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. This is when growth hormone is highest. But as we learned, if you are sleeping on your left side and crushing your heart, your nocturnal oxygen saturation drops. Your body, sensing an oxygen crisis, will prioritize your brain and heart and turn off the hair growth factories to save power. By sleeping on your right side and staying elevated, you are keeping your oxygen levels high. You are providing the oxygenated fuel the follicles need to build during the night. Now we must dive into the histology of the dermal papilla. This is the control room at the base of every hair. It is a cluster of mesenchymal cells that coordinate the growth and shedding of the hair. The dermal papilla is extremely sensitive to oxidative stress and insulin signaling. When your blood sugar is high from the nighttime fruit trap, your dermal papilla becomes inflamed. It sends a distress signal to the rest of the follicle to abort the growth phase. By using the magnesium nightcap and the 8 p.m. fruit cutoff, you are cooling the control room. You are ensuring that the dermal papilla stays quiet and productive all night long. We are looking at the ultrastructure of your beauty. We are looking at the cellular communication of your youth. This is why we don't eat for comfort. We strategize for regeneration. Let's discuss the zinc-iron interaction one last time. Zinc and iron compete for the same transporter in your intestines. If you take a high-dose zinc supplement to block DHT, you will crash your iron and your hair will shed from anemia. This is why you must get your zinc from the cashew and walnut balance and your iron from the steamed greens and egg anchor. Food-bound minerals are chaperoned. They have guided entry into your bloodstream that prevents competition. You are using nature's logistics to overcome synthetic failures. Consider the psychological block of the old man or woman identity. The world wants you to believe that thinning hair is the uniform of the senior. I am telling you that thick hair is the armor of the strategist. Your age is not your expiration date, it is your authority. But that authority is only recognized when you look like you are winning. A senior with a thick crown and a steady gait is a threat to the aging narrative. I want you to be a threat. I want you to be the outlier that people point to and ask, what is their secret? The secret is 2 Brazil nuts, 5 walnuts, and the rejection of the healthy grain lie. Let's look at the role of the suprachiasmatic nucleus in hair growth. This is your brain's master clock. It regulates the pulsatile release of melatonin. Melatonin is a potent hair growth promoter. In fact, your follicles have their own peripheral clocks that must be synchronized with your brain. If you are looking at blue light at 9 p.m. and eating oatmeal at night, you are desynchronizing your hair clocks. Your follicles are trying to grow when the brain is telling them to store. This internal jet lag is why your hair is thinning. By following the Robert Lee circadian protocol, you are realigning your clocks. You are telling every follicle in your head to start at the same time. This is follicular synchronization. It is the highest form of biological harmony. Let's talk about the anatomy of the sebaceous gland. These are the oil glands attached to your follicles. As you age, these glands either dry up, leading to brittle hair, or overproduce, leading to oily scalp hair loss. This balance is controlled by vitamin A and zinc. The egg anchor provides the preformed vitamin A, and the nut protocol provides the zinc. We are calibrating your oil production. We are ensuring that your hair is moisturized but not smothered. This is the Robert Lee caliper. We measure the balance and we adjust the input. Let us examine the biochemistry of the deiodinase enzyme one more time. There are three types: D1, D2, and D3. D1 and D2 convert T4 to T3, which stimulates the hair. D3 is the deactivator. In a senior with high levels of inflammation and cortisol, the D3 enzyme becomes dominant. It effectively hijacks your thyroid hormone and turns it into reverse T3, a mirror molecule that blocks the growth receptor. You are not thyroid deficient. You are thyroid hijacked. The phycocyanin in your spirulina and the selenium in your nuts are the only things capable of suppressing D3 and restoring the D1/D2 dominance. You are liberating your thyroid from the inflammatory hijackers. Every single follicle on your scalp is a miniature organ. It has its own blood supply, its own nervous system, and its own immune cell population called regulatory T cells. These T cells act as the security guards for your hair growth. Research has shown that these cells are activated by vitamin D and healthy fats. Most seniors have exhausted T cells because of low vitamin D and low fat diets. When you consume your walnuts and your eggs, you are providing the specialized lipids required to recharge your scalp's security team. You are preventing your own immune system from attacking your hair. This is the clinical definition of immune follicular synergy. We must also address the role of mitochondrial biogenesis within the hair matrix. The hair matrix is the area of rapid cell division where the hair shaft is physically born. These cells are essentially high-speed biological 3D printers. They require a massive amount of ATP, or cellular energy. As you age, your printers slow down because your mitochondria are leaking. The selenium in the Brazil nut acts as a stabilizer for the mitochondrial membrane, while the copper in the walnut improves the electron transport chain. You are literally upgrading the power supply to your scalp's 3D printers. This is why the hair that grows back after following this protocol is not the wispy baby hair you see after using topical foams. It is the terminal thick hair of your youth. It is powered by a high-octane mitochondrial engine. Let's talk about the anatomy of the disulfide bond. Your hair's strength comes from the bridge between sulfur atoms in the keratin protein. If these bridges are weak, the hair is limp and lifeless. Brazil nuts are high in methionine and cysteine, the two sulfur-containing amino acids. When you hit your leucine threshold in the morning and then provide the sulfur-rich nuts, you are providing the steel and the welding for your hair. You will find that you no longer need thickening products because your hair is physically denser at the molecular level. This is the end of the cosmetic mask. We are building the real thing. I want you to visualize the transformation of your scalp. Right now, it is a dormant, dry landscape with narrowing arteries and leaking mitochondria. Within 14 days of the nut protocol, the microcirculation begins to return. The itch of inflammation stops. By day 30, the deiodinase enzymes have converted enough T3 to wake up the first wave of dormant follicles. By day 90, the baby hairs begin to break the surface. At 6 months, the follicles are synchronized. You are no longer losing hair, you are managing an abundance. This is the Robert Lee promise. It is not a miracle, it is the inevitable result of respecting the hierarchy of the senior metabolism. You cannot grow hair from a starved, triaged system. You must refinance the system with high-density nutrients and then protect the output with biological shields. You must be militant with the 2-nut limit for Brazil nuts. Because selenium is so powerful, taking too much can actually cause selenosis, which leads to more hair loss. This is the biological irony of the senior metabolism. More is not better, targeted is better. You are a dosing strategist, not a glutton. 2 nuts, no more, no less. This provides the Goldilocks dose for your deiodinase enzymes. Let's talk about the ROI of the thick crown one last time. What is it worth to walk into a room and feel like you haven't been erased by time? What is it worth to have the vitality that a thick head of hair signals to the world? It is worth the 2 minutes it takes to crack a walnut. It is worth the discipline to reject the oatmeal. Remember, your hair is the billboard of your health. If your billboard is falling down, it's because the company, your metabolism, is going bankrupt. I am here to refinance your company. I am here to give you the asset base of selenium and copper. We must examine the physics of the interstitial fluid in your scalp. As you age, your lymphatic drainage in the head slows down. This leads to a buildup of metabolic snot around the hair roots. This snot contains the DHT and the inflammatory cytokines that choke the hair. The activated water and the magnesium protocol help thin this fluid, allowing it to drain out of the scalp and into the neck lymph nodes. You are draining the swamp so the forest can grow. You will notice that your scalp feels cooler and lighter when you follow this strategy. You are no longer hot-headed with inflammation. Let's talk about the specific vegetable protein again. Spirulina, unlike the grains you were told were healthy, contains no phytic acid. It does not steal your minerals. It contains no lectins. It does not irritate your gut. It provides the construction rebar for your follicles without the metabolic cost of the grain. By replacing your oatmeal trap with a spirulina shield, you are making the smartest biological investment of your life. Every single hair on your head is a testament to your discipline. If you want that testament to be strong, you must be strong. You must choose the Brazil nut. You must choose the walnut. You must choose the Robert Lee path. No more excuses. You either do or you wither. I am telling you to do. I am telling you to thrive. Let's discuss the final word on the hair loss industry. They want you to believe that your hair loss is a permanent state that requires a lifetime of maintenance drugs. I am telling you that your hair loss is a temporary signal of a systemic error. Once the error is corrected, the signal stops. You do not need to be a customer of the pharmaceutical complex for the rest of your life. You need to be a strategist of your own biology. You have the code, you have the nutrients, you have the timing. Now, you must have the clinical precision to execute the plan. Your hair is not just vanity, it is a measure of your internal vitality. A senior with thick hair is a senior with a strong heart, a clear liver, and a functional thyroid. We are rebuilding the entire human, starting with the crown. I have given you the mechanisms. I have revealed the nut signal. I have exposed the triage trap. The path from the hairbrush to the mirror is now clear. This masterclass on senior follicular and thyroid dominance is now officially complete. The nut is revealed. The lie is dead. The transformation is underway. You are now the nutritional health strategist of your own reflection. You have the thyroid signal from the Brazil nut. You have the DHT shield from the walnut. You have the microvascular force from the 140 pressure. You have the sanitation from the 8 p.m. cutoff. You are a complete system. You are no longer a victim of time. You are the commander of your biology. Reclaim your crown. Reclaim your frame. Reclaim your life. If you found this clinical intervention valuable, you must continue your defense. The next logical step in your systemic realignment is understanding how your kidneys determine your hair density. Your follicles cannot grow if they are being stoned by oxalates. There is a specific vegetable that is currently rotting your kidneys while you think it is healthy, and until you remove it, your thyroid will remain hijacked. Click on the video on the screen now to learn why healthy greens are rotting your kidneys and how to flush the glass shards in 7 days. Your hair, your energy, and your kidneys are waiting for the next step. I will see you there. Rebuild your life. Stand strong. Your follicles are firing. The construction is underway. The transformation is inevitable. You are the authority. This is Dr. Robert Lee. Absolute authority. Absolute results. Masterclass closed. Rebuild. The end.